My name is Diana, and I'm here at Heritage Middle School. And I'm here with...
Mr. Hicks.
How do you feel being a minority teacher?
I feel like you have a responsibility. You've got a lot of students that are minorities, and so you understand that there are a certain level of struggles that your students have, and you want to try and find ways to explain to them that when you're a minority, you go through different difficulties in life that non-minorities go through. So, I've dealt with discrimination, racism in my life, and so I think it's important that my students understand that these are going to be certain trials and tests that you're going to face, and you have to, persevere through those difficult situations.
What does Black History Month mean to you?
It's a lot of different things. My father grew up during segregation, so he went through a lot, and so he really passed on those basically series of events to me that went through his life, and he kind of explained to me how going through the civil rights movement, how it helped to work to desegregate schools. He went down south, he did a freedom ride, so he was really able to explain to me how a lot of events that are even talked about Black History Month have led us to where we're at today. And so my father always talked to me about the importance of different contributions of African Americans to society. Everybody knows Rosa Parks, everybody knows Martin Luther King, but he talks about Garrett Morgan, who was an inventor, and some of the different things that he did, Ernest Everett Just, some of the contributions he made in the medical field. And so he just wanted me to understand that it's important to understand that African Americans have had a huge contribution to American society, and really not really even digging into sports accomplishments, more so politics, education, law, and things like that. So Black History Month has always had a special place to me because I'm an African American and my father went through a lot of stuff, and it kind of showed me the importance of having a Black History Month and being able to teach students history so they understand why things are the way they are today, so we can continue to move forward as a society.
Is it important to encourage diversity?
I think it's critical. I think, for so long our society was segregated, and people really don't understand that really into the 60s, you still had black schools versus white schools, segregated colleges. So I think diversity is what, as a country, makes us, great. It's about the fact that, an African American teacher can teach a Mexican American student and things of that nature, because the workforce is diverse. You're not going to go out on a job and everybody's going to look like you, think like you. You're not going to go play on a college football team, everybody looks like you. So I think diversity is huge because it shows us how to get along with people that we don't look like, that we don't think like, that we don't speak like, that we have different religious beliefs, and it just makes us tolerant people. And when you have tolerant people, you can work together just for the common good of mankind.
What's the importance of America having its first African American president?
I think that's important because it shows that even though our country has got a long way to go, that it is starting to take some progressive steps, because when I was younger, I never would have thought that we would have had a black president. My parents, who grew up during segregation, they cried because they had just been through a different type of lifestyle than I had. But I think it shows that people in our country are willing to look past what someone looks like, and just as Dr. King says, judge it by the content of their character. Can they do the job or can they not? And our country looked at it. They looked at President Obama. They said, okay, we think he'll be a good candidate. It doesn't matter what his race is. Can he, or at some point she, do the job and not worry about what they look like? So I think it shows that our society is taking steps forward, but we still have a long way to go.
How can we eliminate racism in the world?
That's an excellent question. It's probably a 1,000-year-old question. I think that ultimately racism really comes from the environment you're raised in. I think it goes back to what you talked about with diversity. When you are around people who don't look like you and who don't think like you, it just broadens your horizon. But I think when people are raised in households where racist slurs are used all the time, just negative thoughts, not even thoughts, but comments are made about people that don't look like you, I generally don't blame racist children because it's how they're brought up. I think what you have to do is you have to work on bringing people together, getting people to spend time with each other that don't look like each other, getting people to work together for the common good, because racism is learned behavior. So if you take a little white child, a little black child at 3 and 4 years old, they don't understand color. and they just play and they have fun and they dig dirt and do all the things that kids do together. But as they get older and the parents put all these messed up ideologies in their head, then they start to develop these racist tendencies. And so if you want to get rid of racism, you really have to get people together. And it starts in the home. You have to really have parents that recognize the fact that, and this is the best example I give. Do you eat eggs? Okay, if there's a brown egg and a white egg, you've seen both, right?
Yeah.
If you crack them open, what does it look like on the inside?
Same.
It's the same. And if people understand that, then then it's really a real simple theory. But parents have to be willing to encourage their children to associate with people who don't look like them. I do that with my kids all the time. They don't hang out with just people who are black. They hang out with people who don't look like them, and I think it's very important.